All right, we are live here with the Ragsdale's channel, and today we will be touching on the tragedy that happened over the Juneteenth weekend here in Texas and Round Rock, Texas, actually, and where women, two of our black sisters, lost their lives, and 14 others, as of today, they said 14 others were injured from that tragedy. And we're here to touch on the subject of black on black crime and our black fathers that are out of the home. With this particular incident, though, there were two black fathers in the homes, and right now they're having to take over their family on their own without their spouses next to them. And this is a really sad case, and us as black people, we want to get this word out. We want to get this message out and spread this word, and get the names of these women put out there, so maybe more people will be able to share, the video and get the word out. Because as of now, only thing we're seeing is what the news is saying, and what the police are saying. We have yet to see another mainstream YouTube channel or any other people, black people who have YouTube channels, talk about this incident. And I think that it's very selfish. You will sit up and you'll talk about P Diddy and all these artists and all of these different things, Remy Ma son and all that stuff has nothing to do with the price in China, with the price of tea in China right now. We need to be spreading the message about getting our black families back together, so our black men, your black boys, can grow up to be strong, productive black men, and not just the women that are left in the home to take care of these kids. It's just so much just going on. So I'm gonna start this video. I'm gonna start this live off with this video. This is the husband of Lindsay Vickner. She's one of the victims that lost her life in the tragedy. So we're gonna allow her husband to speak on the incident, and then the next video that I'm going to show is the police chief of Round Rock, and then the last video that I'll show is one of the suspects being arrested. So y'all bear with me.
What caused Lindsay's death, my wife's death. I got a call on the way here. As a matter of fact, um, it was one round, one bullet, in her back. Uh, it, it hit her spine and out, and out through the chest, through her lung. So that answered a lot of questions that I had that night as I was uh, trying to say, yes, yes, we were sitting watching a concert towards the back. No, we were just sitting down eating, nachos and stuff like that, facing the stage, and they had the gunfire behind us. Uh, um, so the shooting happened real fast, real rapidly. Um, so I kneeled down. Lacey and Lindsay trying to pull her down. She didn't get down. She was just uh, laid to the side in the chair. So and her eyes are open. Like she's looking at me, just kind of just like a puzzled look, uh, like she was processing. She said, she, she, she said, I'm hit. Um, she said, I'm hit. I said, you kid. I'm like, where? So that's when I pull out the chair. I'm like, I'm throwing the chair, holding over one hand, moving the chair out. But the other, uh, "Boy, she's hit." And I felt it wet on the back. I just looked at my hand. Okay. So I'm forgot what I'm asking. I'm asking her something. Just so she talked to me. She didn't say anything else. Then maybe 5, 10 seconds at that, um, her eyes closed. So I started to do CPR. I started to do CPR. I was taught in the medical field. Uh, uh, I was I was doing what I was taught. So giving breaths. Uh, she she just wanted she just wanted to respond. That lasted for I don't know how long I was doing that. Other people was coming over, doing compressions. I kept breathing. Uh, but I figured it was a lung issue. 'Cause I was giving her breaths. She had blood nose was up. So I'm giving her breaths, which indicated aspiration of blood in the lungs. So you know, I didn't have anything. I didn't have any equipment or anything. So help, help just didn't arrive on time. It just didn't arrive on time.
Hmm. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and play the next video with the police explaining about the suspects and to see if they've found anybody. Hold on.
Into custody and hold them accountable. I also said that this senseless, tragic incident was a result of two parties that were fighting with each other. Today, I announced that at 0740, I was notified that Ricky Thompson, 17 years old, out of Maynard, Texas, was arrested as one of the participants in the fight at Old Settlers Park. The charges at this time is going to be aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, second degree. Mr. Thompson does not have any criminal history. He is also the subject that we were looking for in the white hoodie. Additionally, what I'd like to say is this case is still ongoing. We have a lot of work to do. We know Ricky Thompson was not the only shooter at this event. We are still looking for other suspects. We are still continuing to gather all evidence, continue to talk to witnesses, and we'll continue to do everything that we can to bring everybody involved to justice.
All right. So the next video I'm going to show you is one of the people that they have arrested, which is this Ricky Thompson the third. I'm going to show you his video right now.
Suspect is in custody in connection to the mass shooting that killed two people at a Juneteenth celebration in Round Rock last weekend. Now, just few minutes ago, police held a news conference to give us an update on this case. KVU's Eric Pointer is live in Round Rock. So, Eric, tell us more about what police said in this presser.
Police say that they have made.
And also, I'm going to let this video here play because at the end they're going to show the two victims. They're going to show their pictures and they're going to show their families' pictures. So I'm going to let this video play out before we start the discussion.
an arrest in connection to this incident. They said they have been working tirelessly to hold people accountable, and they say that this senseless tragedy was a result of two different groups fighting together, and one person from those groups have been taken into custody. We have a booking photo for 17-year-old Ricky Thompson III. He's from Maynard, Texas. We know that he was picked up at around 7:30 this morning by the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force in Pflugerville, and he was immediately taken to the Williamson County Jail. Now, he is being charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, so not being charged with murder yet, but that could be upgraded. He was the subject that was in that white hoodie that they gave a description of on Sunday. Now, they say that they're going to have a lot of work to do. Police are still collecting evidence, and they are talking to witnesses. This is what the police chief had to say about the work they still need to do.
We have a lot of work to do. We know Ricky Thompson was not the only shooter at this event. We are still looking for other suspects. We are still continuing to gather all evidence, continue to talk to witnesses, and we'll continue to do everything that we can to bring everybody involved to justice.
Now, we know that there are, again, more charges pending for Ricky and for anyone else who may be taken into custody. Police say that they will not stop until they get justice for those victims. Now, we also know that they did call that press conference last night at 11 p.m. They said that they wanted to have something to present to people on actual Juneteenth because this happened at a Juneteenth celebration. So on Juneteenth, they wanted to have something. They just didn't have anything. They had been working with the Williamson County District Attorney's Office, and they ultimately decided that they didn't want to compromise anything, so they wanted to wait until this morning until they had more concrete evidence and more concrete things to say. And so, again, Ricky was arrested at around 7:30 this morning, and that's when they decided to have that update for us this morning. Yvonne?
Eric, a couple of questions. First, Ricky Thompson, no criminal history or anything like that?
Police say that he did not have any criminal history, and they're still investigating to see kind of what his involvement was with the group and everything, but no criminal history.
And also, Eric, I know Chief Banks says, we work for the family, we work for this community. So he was saying it's very important that people continue to come forward with tips, helpful, useful information. So far, those tips have proven to be beneficial, correct, for authorities?
Yes, he did say that. He did say that they have been helpful to get those tips. They've gotten a lot of helpful tips and video. They're still urging anyone who has any information or any pictures or video to come forward because, like we said, that has been helpful to them in this investigation.
Yes, and regardless of the payout, come forward and do what you need to do for the community and to make sure that justice is served. Thank you so much, Eric. Well, this morning, Lindsay Vicknair's family released a statement. She was one of the two women killed in the shooting at that celebration in Round Rock on Saturday. And in the statement, the Vicknair family thanked the Round Rock Police Department and other law enforcement for their due diligence, adding that they've been really supportive during this difficult time. Now, again, the statement did address the delay in yesterday's press conference, reading in part, "We have been inundated with calls and texts. There has been a lot of speculation and rumors circulating in our community. We remain patient and hopeful. The delay means we are closer to justice for Lindsay, Mrs. Duke, and the other individuals impacted by this horrific mass shooting." And a vigil for Lindsay Vicknair is now scheduled for tonight. The vigil was originally supposed to happen last night, but was postponed. It is now scheduled for 7:30 p.m. at Webb Middle School in North Austin.
All right. Those are the videos, and y'all saw the husband and what he had to say, and I was glad that they showed the pictures of the ladies and their families together. That one lady, she had 3 little kids, 7, 4, and 1 years old, and the Duke lady, she has one daughter, and she's about to be 21 years old. She's a college student, just got married, and she's pregnant. That's messed up. Like, so who wants to take the floor and start the conversation?
Man, all right. So, I want to take my time with this because it's a lot of layers to it, right? And first off, I really hated the last reporter's voice. Let me get that out the way. And then secondly, the father, the strength that man showed, it just touched my heart, right? So it inspired aggravation and anger because this senseless death, look how it ripples. Like you said, the lady had kids, the one lady. And then the lady that got shot in the back, those are lives that you forever changed people's lives by a violent act. And for me, this all goes back to look what y'all, well, I'm interested to hear what y'all think. Just what's the 17-year-old boy's background? If you could guess what type of home life he have, what would you guess? Right? And so as the conversation goes on, we need to first talk about the countenance of a man when something does go down, right? And you are emotional and all that. That man was a perfect example to me of what a man's supposed to look like when he talking, right? And the tragedy, we got to get down to the bottom of the crime, but it's deep to me because it was a Juneteenth celebration. We're supposed to be celebrating us, right? And somebody walked in there and brought death to what was supposed to be a lively celebration. So I'm gonna back off for now, but like it's a lot of layers, man, because I'm not a parent. All I can say is you've changed those kids' lives. You took their mom, right? And not to mention whatever your life is, right? So I'm gonna back off for now. But I'm kind of emotional in a lot of ways because when I heard him talk about when he realized his wife was hit, man, that just made me lose my breath, man. I can't imagine. So for him to be able to hold himself together, he's still in shock. My heart goes out, and I want to keep up with this. But the conversation on the little boy who had part in it, and the kids that had part in it, I would be very surprised to find out if they had a father, any of them. And the fact that the fatherless are taking fathers away, that's the definition of a true generational curse. That's the circumstances just spoke to me that it's deeper than crime. We have a spirit of death on our community, and I'll surrender now. But man, it just got me thinking hard.
Yeah, it struck me it struck me too. It kind of hurt me to see how he was in pain. You could see he was hurting. I don't understand. What struck me also is the guy was just 17. That kid was 17 years old. And the first thing, when he comes into an altercation, he thought to do was to go pick up a firearm, pick up arms. It's sad because, we grew up in the 70s when we went to school in early 80s. And we weren't perfect, but we fought too. But when we fought, you didn't hear about people pulling out their I can't say certain words on the YouTube, but we didn't pick up arms. And
they blicky.
The worst thing you would hear is maybe a knife. but it never came to that. So for people to go pick up, you know, to settle the differences like that, nothing good comes of that. You got, he's going to go to prison for the rest of his life, perhaps, if they pin those murder charges on him. And then, like you said, a bunch of the ripple effect, families, mothers, taken from their, families. And it's sad. I really don't have no words for it, but it's happening way too often, all the time.
Yep, it's bad. It's real bad. And
Yeah.
I would like some of the people that uh that had comments on when I talked about this on that Tough Talk Tuesday. I would like them to hit that link and speak their mind so that we could come to an understanding. So that because I think some people got the wrong uh, well, people can read stuff the way they want to read into it or whatever, and it doesn't matter because I'm gonna speak the truth, and it's a real issue. You could look at if y'all saw the dude's face, the little boy's face, you could look in his eyes and see emptiness. Uh, I doubted if he really cares about what he has done. I've been around these youngsters, man. They heartless. He regrets getting caught,
Right.
but he doesn't really. You could look at him and tell just by his nappy hair that he really, and it just look in his eyes, he just don't care. And it's a third, so it's a man somewhere in the picture. But it's not just important to have a man in the household. It's important to have a strong man in the household. We got too many beta men in the house, and half of the men that's in the house is a mama's boyfriend, somebody she cut for. He don't care nothing about the kids. So the real mom and daddy don't get along. So therefore, he's being raised. He's just there basically living with the mama. So he's not putting that time in with that young man. And at 17, you're at that transitioning stage. And I wasn't shocked. I knew it was going to be some youngsters, and they got the youngest one first, and he's going to squeal. It's going to be a bunch of brothers going, maybe even some sisters, to go down for these senseless tragedies. And the sad part about it is, it was Juneteenth. And y'all know I always say it's not a stereotype if it's the truth. It's not a stereotype if it's the truth. I'm wondering why come there was no. I have a bunch of questions, but I'm a relinquish the floor because I'm like, where was the metal detectors at the door? If it's a big event like this, and you got Paul Wall entertaining, and you got all this stuff out there, they should have known some preventative actions should have been taken to prevent firearms being in that facility or in that park that easy. But that's just my thought.
Yeah, the ones that don't know, Round Rock is like this prestigious area before you actually get into Austin. So there are a lot of doctors, lawyers, nurses, all these different type of people, and they're mostly black people. A lot of them are black people, and the video that we saw from the testimonies, I think I might need to show that video too, so that way y'all can see some of the people. There was one guy on there, and the reason why they caught this young man because he had on a distinctive hoodie, and the man that told the story, that was one of the testimonies, gave the description of him because he ran right into him. So that's how they were able to catch him. So I noticed on the video, they said that he was from Maynard, Texas. So I looked up Maynard, Texas, and it is like close to San Antonio, I think. But they found him in Pflugerville. So somebody was hiding him out. So like Kurt said, You wonder what his home life was like. That sounds like a mama or a grandmama hiding him out. Somebody that's not accountable themselves. That's why he was out there with a gun to begin with. Because if he had a daddy in the house, I would like to think that daddy would have stepped in and done something about that. But no, we got two black sisters that are gone, that have been taken from their own children. These children, this little bitty baby, this little girl, she's 1 year old. She don't know anything about her mama gone right now. She don't know. Only thing she knows is she's probably about to be going through a lot of emotions, crying and looking for her mama, and she ain't there. She doesn't realize that she's not there. But the little 7 year old girl, she's aware. She's aware of this. And he's sitting on there with his nappy head self. That just doesn't make any sense. And like
And
your
the
dad,
two that died had nothing to do with the altercation, right?
no. They were just sitting there listening to the. There were artists there. They were sitting by the stage listening to the artists that were performing. So let me show you this. Let me show y'all this video. So that way you'll get a kind of an understanding. I'm gonna go because I just found it on here. So let me see. Just found it on
Hey, you know what? While you're doing that, for the people in the comments that agree, disagree, or whatever, man, put your issues into the chat. If you don't click the link today and you listen to this video, look up the email address. When you look up the channel, you can click on there and shoot Pastor an email and set it up where you can go live with us and get your issues on the table where we can find solutions. Because at the end of the day, if it takes a hard conversation or an argument to get to where we need to go, I don't mind doing that. But I'm not getting ready to raise nobody else's kids or be disrespected. But if a heated conversation leads to solutions, I'm here for it.
Already.
right. Because we did have a lot of people that had a lot to say in the comments about the Tough Talk Tuesday. And we had one in particular. Uh, anyway, y'all, they said Manor, Texas was like 24 minutes from Austin. But we had one person in the comment section that was talking to us about, they were talking to us about them raising their own kids, their own children, and how she was a single black mom and how she was a single mom. She didn't say black, but a single mom, and she raised her son, and he's he graduated college, and he's this and that. She said, "My son raised by me, a single mother, has a college degree and a business. Please correct yourself." This is what she said first. So, yeah.
Well, that's the thing about it is it's not about you then.
Right. Right. Right.
If that don't pertain to you, why are you commenting on it?
Right.
Right.
That's what we said. We speak of majority.
That's a control spirit. See, one of them rocks you through hitter and hit dogs holler.
Yeah.
So I would be examining myself if the confidence of what pastor says, if it triggers insecurities in me where I got to get on somewhere that don't even pertain to me and ain't none of my business to comment. What about his conversation? Is it just that he's holding black women to account? Is that what bothered you, ma'am? If you're listening to this, you might just need to grow up. God bless you for raising a good human being, but he might have got that in spite of you, not because of you.
Wow.
Put out.
Yeah, and I'm you see my name's Kurt, so if you need to get at me, get at me.
That part.
Not that part. Not that part. But anyway, so what I'm gonna say next is
I'm sorry.
no, but it's real talk though. So we commented back and then just what y'all just said. That's basically what we commented back and said to her. We told them that we speak in the majority, and we were just telling her, speak to those two educated women who are deceased now. That same thing. I told her you are one in a few, and God bless your son for choosing to be better in life because so many others don't.
Yeah.
And she come in back and she said, maybe teaching respect for any elder when they are trying to teach something instead of focusing on a man being in the house. I'm sure seeing and respecting whoever is trying to do the best for the family is what needs to be taught. This talk about only a father in the house can stop delinquency is the problem. Any grown person with sense can have a great effect on a young life. So then and there, I was just like, you just trying to cancel God out, girl. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're
God
talking
is the
about being
creator of husband and wife. We're not. God is the reason why men are in the home. We're not. They're supposed to be in the home, not us. So what are you talking about?
she on that Amazon stuff, and see, there's a perception that if you're a good wife and a good mother at the same time, that it's some kind of weakness in that.
Right.
You could be a superstar inside of being a woman of God. See, your old grandma and great grandma, they had wisdom. Now, they cooking, cleaning, and all that, but their lives were rich.
Right.
Not because of their degree, not because it was what they put into their family and having those things come back to them in the way of prosperous offspring. Now, I come from a single parent situation.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. My mom never devalued my dad in any way.
Hmm.
And my heroes were in my household and in my extended family. So my mom's brothers, my grandfather, my mom's dad, all the way up to Uncle Rags, all the way up to Chuck, my older cousins. I took the good from everywhere I could because that's what a young man that don't have a father in the home does. I'm saying that I was fortunate because God provided me with a cocoon of love, right? This lady, obviously, God kept her, but she's blinded because she thinks her success is hers. No, God's order is still the same. And to be honest, this is controversial, but you're probably under the hedge of a man's spiritual protection anyway, whether
Yes.
he's in the home or not. You ain't some superwoman who did it and it just matters if you have good people. That's how you make gay little boys, right? Right there. You don't designate that he needs to be a man. No, you just be a good human being, baby, and you watch him come back home in a dress. You better be careful about what
That
you.
part.
Hey, real talk.
So I mean, y'all can edit this out or whatever.
No, we ain't editing. It's real talk.
Hey, and one more thing. I know, but the reporter, though, man, y'all gonna tell me y'all didn't hear that list?
Yeah, we did, but we just ignored it. We was just trying
All
to
right,
get the news.
all right.
Anyway, I'm gonna read this next comment and then I'm gonna let y'all say what y'all need to say about it. Then I'm gonna play this about the testimony. I'm gonna let y'all get a little a little more about what was going on. Well, this other person, Black 7892, said we love slogans and hate solutions. In my experience, Black people, not all but most, make neighborhoods hoods. It may take 20 years, but if the majority are poor, Section 8 and one parent, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids, the environment would become unlivable for normal folk. Yeah.
That's a hard truth, but man, I can't call him no lie.
Right.
I ain't seen nothing no different.
Yep.
But both things can be true at the same time. Just because a community is sick, that don't mean it still don't need help. That don't mean that it can't be cured, right? But a lot of times, in order to medicate something, when you scrape your knee, mama had to put that old Campo Finique on there. It's gonna sting a little bit.
Yep.
And so, but pain, it healing is you don't just heal without pain, because without pain, there's no need for healing. So he's telling the truth. I get it. He's telling the truth. I can't argue with that part.
Yeah. And we did. That's what we commented in back and said the same thing. And then this Matson person said crime is usually associated to where you live, not color.
No, it is proximity. White folks rob white folks, and wherever you
and
live,
that's what they said. This is what they said. That's what they said. You live on a college campus, more than likely it would be someone near there. Black neighborhoods, more than likely black. White neighborhoods, Asian, same thing. So why say black on black? This is what we get into. Also, the less opportunity the community you live in have, the higher crime rate chance. Example, poor quality school and few job opportunities contribute to higher crime rates. This leads to volatile environments. Stability in your environment leads to better outcome.
That's sociological evidence. That's
right.
Yeah, that's
He was real smart. Stupid mistakes and retarded thinking. What I'm gonna say black on black because I see my Caucasian brothers, they stick together.
Right. Well, here's the thing.
I see Hispanics, I see other races.
And for the person who commented, sorry to interrupt you. It ain't it. We're not talking about their community. We're talking about our community. See, that's the same people to say, what about Chicago? No.
Yep.
We have ills in our community, and we're looking out for our community. So you can't tell your community the truth. I don't care what white people are doing.
Right.
They're not the one most likely to put a bullet in my back.
That's what I told that other person. I said the society is making it so everybody is sensitive, where you can't have these tough conversations such as these. Black fathers not in the home. Black on black crime. Everybody has something to say about it, because why black on black? Because this particular incident was a black on black thing. So that's what we're talking about.
I don't necessarily think we commit more crimes in worse neighborhoods. I just think it's more heavily policed.
That's it.
And there's a lot of implicit bias. They say, okay, these people are more than likely, to be committing crimes. When they pull over people, these simple little traffic stops, they pull them over and they do all these little, ask all these little questions, and they have an implicit bias in their mind. This is a high crime area, so more than likely this guy's going to have crime. He's going to have drugs in the car or something. So they make up an excuse, run the dogs around the car. And the sad thing about it is a lot of times they find drugs. But, people in other neighborhoods are riding with drugs in their cars too. They're just not as heavily policed.
Right. That's true. That's true. We responded back to that person. We said this particular crime happened at a Juneteenth celebration in a very prominent area of Austin. All blacks. These two women responding back to why they said why black on black. We said all blacks. These two women that were shot were black, and allegedly the shooters are black as well. So I understand what you're saying about the environment you live in sometimes can contribute to the way you are, but this wasn't the case here. Another thing, I know plenty of people who made it out of their environments and chose better for themselves. It still goes back to our black fathers being out of the home. And they responded and said, I'm just stating the statistics of how crime usually works. And yes, fathers not being in the home contributes to it as well. But why aren't fathers in the home is the question. So I invited them to come on the panel, but I see they didn't come on because I wanted them to ask that question.
Mm.
And we grew up in poverty as well. So
Yeah,
Yeah, man. I mean, the thing about it is I'm tired of excuses, right?
right.
We our crime rates went up. When we took the 10 Commandments out of schools, we took school prayer out. What it did, you made boys like me, you didn't give them no reason not to become animals. See, me, I had to remember, boy, when I do that prayer, I said, oh man, God don't like for me to lie, even though I'm planning on get somebody that day or whatever it was. Uh, Keeping God and prayer on my mind and thou shalt not kill, steal, destroy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kept a moral compass in us kids.
Mm-hmm.
These kids don't have a moral compass, and then a lot of our women, they're raising sons, but they're with brothers who the son get home from school, he got to beat this Negro off of his game.
Mm-hmm.
He got to get this dude out of his shoes. And you going shopping every time you buy your son something, you buying your boyfriend something. Like, you don't know what's wrong with that picture.
Yeah. Mm. This
And
the
it happens. I mean, it happens. Oh, I see it every day, man.
right. This same person that commented about her son, she Luminade Frequencies 9778. That's the name of the person. She said no one can run anybody off. Men leave because they can. And then we had John the Baptist 6266 said, "Thank you, Pastor. The mentality is baffling to me as a black man."
Yep.
Well, Sister Tamika, you a woman. You can tell her that she lying. For real. For real.
I'm just gonna tell y'all from my experience. I can just talk from my experience. I was married before, and I'm gonna just talk about foundation. I had a mama and a daddy, and my daddy was split decision. He was there to teach us, but he also had his own stuff going on. But we were not allowed to do what we wanted to do with my daddy. We knew we had consequences if anybody seen us doing something. The school was calling my daddy. Anybody was calling my daddy. They didn't call my mama. They didn't put my mama nowhere on the map. Sonny Wary was who they called. And we 6 kids knew you better not even breathe wrong because we knew we were going to get our butts towed up. That scared us. Now, when we got older, we wanted to challenge him, and we still got our heads smashed if you wanted to challenge him. Now, I'm gonna be honest. That's real talk. And I, like you said, Kirk, you referenced your father, even though he wasn't even home. I did the same thing. I would still respect my daddy to this day. What him and my mama had going on had nothing to do with us.
None of my business.
None of our business. We knew not to challenge that man.
Yep.
Now, in my first marriage with my kid's dad or whatever, he was raised by a woman, his mama. She spoiled him. His granny was there. She spoiled him. He got any and everything he wanted. So he didn't have to, accountability wasn't even a thing. So when I got with him, I didn't know any of those things. You know, his daddy didn't claim him. So he didn't have a man in his life. His mama got married to her first husband. He couldn't tell him anything because she wanted to jump on that man.
Right.
So when I got with him, I'm trying to make it work because we have kids in the home, and I'm just like, I don't want to raise my kids by myself. So I stayed in it. Now, what I called it earlier, baby, I said, not a man, but a man child. I have 3 kids, and then I'm also over here with this boy because he wasn't no man. Now he tried his best to be a daddy to his kids. He was always present, yeah. But the things that he showed wasn't what they needed. He always tried to spoil them with buying them clothes, buying them what they want, buying them this, buying them that, instead of uh instilling responsibility in them. Like my oldest daughter, responsibility. My son, responsibility. He wouldn't have went to prison. My son went to prison. So I'm gonna speak to y'all as a black woman. Yes, we can run men out. We can. In my situation, it may not be somebody else's situation. I chose to leave in the end, and in the end, what he chose to do was unalive himself because he couldn't take no, and he couldn't take accountability. But I played a part in that because I chose to stay there and cater to all of that mess. So I take blame for that.
Man, that's powerful, man.
A lot of kids these days can't accept responsibility. I
No, they
don't know
can't.
what it is.
And a lot of these women don't want to take responsibility either because a lot of times we sit there and take up and put up with that foolishness, knowing from the beginning you seen the red flags from the beginning, but you thought you could stay there, change them, and do all those things. Talking to myself, you can't change people because once their foundation is shattered and weak, there's no help for them. People talk about my daddy today. Oh, he left y'all. He this and that. No, my dad ain't left us. We know where he at. Been knowing where he was. He just chose. He knew what he was doing to my mama wasn't right, so he chose to remove himself. I don't blame him. I respect him even more for that.
See?
Dang. And my mama didn't beat us over the head about our daddy wasn't this and our daddy wasn't that. She never said a word about it. Never.
That's the key. That's the key. That's the key right there.
So all of that talk because she wants somebody to pat her on the back because she was a mama to her son. Okay, that's what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be a mama. You don't get no kudo points for that. Because we done seen a lot of these mamas around here that don't have their kids. You got 5 and 6 kids, and the man asks you where your kids at. Oh, they here, there, and everywhere.
Right.
That has nothing to do with a black daddy. That's all to do with you as a mom.
They speak like there's something wrong with having a two-parent household.
Come on, it's against they going against God. Like us men and women created the household. God created married and man and woman. He created spouses. He created husbands and wives. That's God's creation, not ours.
Yep.
People talking now, I don't want to be married. What's wrong with being married? You out here sleeping around. You making all these illegitimate kids everywhere. You making babies everywhere without their mama or without their daddy. What's wrong with you getting married? And staying in it and you two people realizing that y'all are people. So you can't make anything happen without God first. If we all take a step back and realize that we need to check ourselves each and every time while we're in a marriage, marriages will last and they'll be stronger if we put God in them first.
Real talk. Real talk.
Yep. I can't speak on it because I'm sitting over here by myself. I'm not married, so.
Oh, I mean, I'm not married either, but I'm not.
But you're not saying you don't want to be married, though.
Well, my lifestyle, and I used to say that, but it's just, there's nothing wrong. That's the way to do it. The thing I've changed is I cleaned up my lifestyle and I abstained since I'm not married. Right. That's part of my maturity.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, I mean, if I met somebody, I would want to be committed. You know what I'm saying? It's just that if I know I'm damaged goods right now, then just chill out from everything. Don't violate God and be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But that's leadership from a part of what they've done to us also is separated us from wisdom. And the wisdom of somebody who's older and wiser than you.
Right.
See, if you don't tell these kids and a lot of generation of males and females, if they don't instantly get what they want, or let's just say you make a suggestion. If I say, hey, I get that, but I would like to do it this way, what if we could compromise? Some people don't want to compromise. If it can't go their way, this ain't a male female thing, but a lot of these women who have become manly, they're not imitating great men. Ain't none of these women imitating Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or anybody. They imitating hood, bully, controlling type Negroes.
Right.
So you're not even imitating good men.
Right. We just want to tell everybody in the chat, thank y'all for joining, and the other ones that are watching right now, thank y'all for joining. We are not ignoring you guys. We're just on a roll right now. So I was just we're just trying to get it all in. If you have anything to say, you want to join the panel, the link is at the top of the comment section. But right now, I will add the link again. If you would like to join the panel, feel free to hit the link and give us your take on this situation. Hey, Brother Daryl. Brother Daryl is in the comment section, y'all. Kurt, he said you on fire today. And Dad the Father, I don't know who that is, but thank you for joining our comment section and joining the channel today. We thank you. You guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscription button, hit the like and comment, please. And please share this video as well. And I'm going to show baby, what's going on with your thing? What's up, Micah? Pastor Rag. Huh? Okay. Well, I'm gonna show this video, y'all. And this is one of the testimonies that they did an interview on this man, and he was actually giving a detailed description of these guys and where the shooting and stuff started, because he said he was actually face to face with them. So I'm gonna show this right now and let you guys listen to it.
Okay, excellent. All right, so I mean, first and foremost, I would love to just hear your reaction. I mean, as all of this started unfolding, tell me a little bit about what you witnessed and all.
Yeah, so I was sitting down at at the table, kind of to the side of the tables, right in front of the tent, so I could see everybody passing by. Usually, as people would pass by, I would, just shout out what we had available. During this time of the night, Paul Wall had just kind of stepped off stage, so there's a lot of people near the stage, not too many people traveling through. But the tents, if you were to walk through the tents, you had the Omegas to their left. They were selling their beers and some waters. And then the next one was like a daiquiri station. They were selling like these frozen daiquiris. Then it was ours. And right between where the Omegas were set up and where the daiquiri station was set up, um, it looked like there was like, it didn't look like a bad altercation. Definitely like a group of people were like kind of chatting away. And then initially it sounded like fireworks, but there was like small caliber weapons, right? And it, I, it had to be about like 4 plus people, right? Two of the people ran towards us, and one of the guys, and our when the fire when it all happened, that entire area just scattered, right? Um, for us in our booth, um, we thought it was fireworks at first. Like it sounded like fireworks, like black cats. Um, but there was a couple of pops in there that wasn't black cats. And that's when I kind of got down a little bit and I moved towards my table and I was still kind of looking. And then two of the suspects came running towards us. They stopped in front of me, like directly in front of me. One of them, I really didn't see his face because one of the guys was just like directly in front of me. He was looking at his buddy and he said, "We got him," with a smile on his face. And then they took a beeline straight to the parking lot. And while I was sitting there, or actually standing there, all I could think of is they're the only ones standing. Everybody else is, those weren't fireworks, right? And so I start kind of looking around and I see some police officers running this way. They had just went that way, and I'm trying to tell the police officers the shooters went that way. They're right there. They're going right there, right? And one of the guys, he eventually stopped, but he's listening to me walking towards like the victims that got shot. He didn't run out to the parking lot. Like how they ran out at that time, they would have gotten those guys that like were right there in that vicinity. Timestamp wise, I'm pretty sure you could figure it out like camera wise, just because the timing was so impeccable. And I could tell you exactly the direction that they ran. You could probably stitch some stuff together, but um, pretty much after that, right behind us, there was a lady that got hit. I think she perished. That was like directly behind our tent, and that's how we knew that it was actually bullets, because like it was literally like, oh, that lady right here is hit, and then her I think that was her dad, maybe that was with her, and he just like pretty much broke down. And then maybe 15 feet uh, to my to the behind us, looking towards the stage to our left, there was another lady that had gotten shot. Um, there was maybe right over here. There was a pregnant woman that was just, she was, you know what I mean. Um, so so yeah. At that point, this is all in a matter of seconds. At that point, I just started recording. And I didn't get footage of the shooters, but like I did see very different than anybody else that was in the area. Like I said, when it happened, everybody scattered that was in that area. Some people jumped into vendor booths, so like you had multiple vendors that just their booths were just trapped.
See, and if y'all heard him, he said that these people were at a fraternity booth. So this was a college that was out there, and he said that they were selling alcohol and beer and all of these things. So those shooters came from over there, and then he stated that one of them said that we got him. So they came there intentionally to do harm to somebody, and the person that they probably did harm to didn't die, but these two innocent bystanding women did. You see, that's just stupid. And he is the one that pointed the finger at that boy that's in the white, that the boy that they caught. And they were saying that there were a lot of police presence and all of that stuff that was out there. And like in his account, had they ran out there in the direction that he was telling them to, they would have caught them right then and there. They were not out there to do their jobs. That's exactly why this type of stuff happened. That's crazy.
Man.
Did somebody leave? I don't know.
And now we got two professional Black women. One, I believe, was a lawyer. The other was a teacher, administrator, working in the school system. Now they're both gone off of this senseless crime, and not just their families affected, but this 17-year-old boy. Y'all watch the YouTube, the interview with the officer. They already said they're gonna put these people away for life.
Yep.
So this he's done. He's done. Stick a pin in it. And we're sitting around worried about our educated kids thinking that we're above. One thing I've learned, rich, poor, middle class, or whatever, no matter what color you are, no matter your financial status, dead is dead. I'm sure these women did not think that they were going to be shot that day going to that park. So that's why we talk about this, because no one is exempt. It's a much needed conversation.
It is. And as these cases go on, even with the Fortson case, eventually we'll be able to talk about the actual crimes and the results and how differently like these kids, man, it's so many lives thrown away. And why are we so reluctant not to have an honest conversation about the causes, the circumstances, and the solutions behind what we're going through? See, people think we're blaming these moms and everything. We're not saying that. We're saying you're out of God's order, so there's nothing but death that's going to come from it in one way or the other.
And don't think that the violence can't find you. You
Yeah,
could very well be out and that violence could find you. You know, you're not above it.
Example of that.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
These guys are. I mean, I watched both of their husbands, these young ladies' husbands,
I didn't show the other
and
guy.
they were, well educated, well spoken gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
But however, it found them.
Yep. And y'all see this man, the one that we just watched. He said he thought it was fireworks.
Hmm.
That's because he didn't grow up in that type of environment. So it took him a minute to register.
Man, yeah.
Yeah. It took him a minute to register that it was actual gunfire. They've been doing this Juneteenth festival for the past 13, 14 years. And nothing like this has ever happened there. So they was not expecting it. A couple of nappy heads come from not in that area to start drumming. Ended up taking lives, innocent lives, who were doing what thus says the Lord. They were raising their families with their husband and wives. And now the wives have been taken away. You know, dad, the father, I don't know. He said what is that? That is so horrible to do on Juneteenth. What a slave. What? That's pathetic. My mama was a teacher. I don't know what you meant by that. But
This was a horrible crime any time of the
anytime.
year. It's
Yeah,
a
not
horrible
the Juneteenth.
crime. It's a horrible crime what happened to Fortson. I go back, it's a horrible crime, what happened to Trayvon Martin. What I'm learning about crimes upon us as a people, they offer us a couple of dollars and we shut up.
Yeah.
That's very selfish because it's continuing the death trap. It's continuing the tragedies, and no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to speak on it because I was in banking 20 some years. An officer actually told me after a robbery. After my last 2 years, I went through 2 robberies, and officer came in there smiling, and I was like, dude, you cracking jokes and smiling, but we were robbed. This could have turned, bad. And he was like, well, I'm happy because without crime, I have no job. This pays my bills.
Wow.
This is what an officer told me.
Wow.
So I'm like, well, I can see It starts with the father and the mother, the parents, not the kids. See, we put too much pressure on kids at an early age where they're not mature enough to even handle it. If that father and mother is on one accord and they're doing it God's way, those kids are good. Way. And that mother and father is on one accord. They're becoming one, as the Bible tells them to do. The kids are good. We've got to stop putting our kids in the midst of our mess ups, because it comes out in what we just witnessed. They don't want to be in the house because they don't like mama's boyfriend. So they roam the streets with their homies because they feel their homies is more family and show them more love than what they get at home.
Yep.
But don't nobody want to talk about that.
Man, it's there's so many things. That's why the conversation has to be continued, because right now there's a lot of, when you unpack this, there's implications where, okay, this was a college thing, this was a traditional thing, and somebody brought their beef into a situation, right? But it's our problem solving skills. Like, here's what I want to say. Ain't nobody man enough to take an ass whooping, no.
Woo! Fight with your hands
without going to pick up a gun and coming back and trying to kill everybody.
Mm-hmm. And it's always the innocent that end up perishing.
Yeah, maybe that means you need to stay home.
Yep, that's true. I said a few minutes ago, I was reading the comment, dad, the father, people, it doesn't seem like people started getting killed until they made it a legal holiday, which I disagree. You know, people have been getting unalive for a long time, and now they're just making it, you know, it's just getting more news coverage. Devon Waller. Okay, Devon Waller, welcome to the chat, to the comments. She sent a comment on one of our Tough Talks Tuesdays, and she said, and thank you for joining. If you want to join the panel, you can. The link is in the chat. And social media, when those streets end up being all they know about life, then they on and follow bad examples, set and ruin their lives for a lack of words to solve the beef. That's true. Like Kirk just said, they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to put their hands up, put the guns down. Right. And like Baby just said, it's been going on, but now it's just getting more media attention. And for this, the reason why we're like we've started doing these cases, like with Roger Fortson, and now with this Round Rock tragedy, the father himself, the husband, the Van, I don't want to mess their name up. He wants this to be publicized. He wants his wife's name and picture out there. He wants everyone to talk about her, because, as he should, because I would want my husband to do that for me. You know, if something happened to me like this, I would want him to stand up for me, even in life. I know he probably stood up for his wife because he spoke so highly of her about the things that he said. He had a vision, and she just made his vision come true. Only thing he did was sit it down, let her know what he wanted, and she just made it come true. That's a unit.
Yeah.
That's a unit.
Yeah.
And you took this man's wife from him.
Yep.
That's
took
wrong.
Part of his soul. You took half of his soul.
Yeah, Devon, you may be too old to be putting your hands on people. We're talking about are this boy is 17 years old. Yeah, you may be too old to be putting your hands on people, but if someone comes into your face, the first thing you're gonna be thinking about is shooting. No, you're not. What we're talking about is old school, back in the day, how we grew up. That's what we're talking about before the street lights came on. If you got caught outside and somebody wanted to come and fight you, the first thing you had to do was put your dukes up. You didn't think about pulling no gun on somebody. These kids don't know how to fight. That's why they shooting people.
Yep. And
Yeah,
they
you can
probably,
teach them the
hey,
way, but are you
more
gonna do
than
that?
likely, more than likely, they was raised by somebody that can't take an ass whooping.
There it is. So you right. Yeah, we're too old to be putting our hands on people. Yeah, but we're saved by the grace of God. So we don't put our hands on people, and we don't shoot people either. So what we saying is stay out the streets. Like Kurt said, stay at home. If you can't take a butt whooping, stay at home. My brother Darrell said they don't have fathers in the home to teach them. That's the whole point. That's what our conversation is about. Bringing our black fathers back into the home. We can't talk about another society until we start talking about our own. So right now our discussion is about our own black fathers who are out of the home. We're not talking about anybody else's. We're talking about our own. So that's true. They don't. And before you got on, we were saying that this boy, they found him in Pflugerville. He's from Manor. This happened in Round Rock, so somebody was hiding him. To me, that doesn't sound like something that a man would do. A man, not a boy. I said a man. So, anybody else got something to say about that? Because we're going to get ready to end the live. We thank everybody for joining.
Hey, and Dara, the boy, the 17-year-old, kind of remind me of you with that nappy head.
You know why? You know our brother ain't on the panel to defend himself. Bro, you better come back in the comment section. He coming for your head. He coming for your head. If anyone else wants to hit the link, I'm gonna put the link back in the chat real quick. If you want to hit the link, we're gonna be on here about another 2 minutes. You're gonna hit the link to get on the panel and say your thoughts, or if you have a question for the panel to answer, you can do that. We appreciate you all for joining. Those that we don't know, we surely hope that you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, as well as share this video so we can get this message out. Because right now this is tough talk. This is a real needed conversation, and we're not playing into what society is making mainstream, which is making a whole bunch of sensitive people who can't take what needs to be said. You know, these things need to be said. So that's what our panel is about. That's why we come on here and do these live streams. So again, we thank you all for joining us. And if no one else is going to come up to the panel, and if no one else has anything else to say, we are going to end this live today. And we thank you all for joining. Thank you again. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Thank you for joining the Ragsdales today. Peace, love, and hair grease.
Already. Deuces.
All right.